Okay, I'm on headset. And no, correct. Yeah, Lincoln and Angela are using the same Unity account. Otherwise, it creates an echo. We welcome you to Tampa, Florida. It's American women's basketball as the Bulls of USF welcome the Green Wave of Tulane to town. Both teams looking to improve their standings after bouncing back, they hope, from losses against UConn earlier this week. Take a look at the conference standings. Tulane started off this year 3-0 before their midweek defeat against one of the top teams in the country. And of course, the Bulls have had all week off since last weekend's loss to UConn. Tulane had that 3-0 start, while the Bulls have had some injuries early on holding them back, but still plenty of bright spots to look forward to for the home team here in Tampa. We welcome you in on the American Digital Network. Lincoln Rose along with Coach Angela Beck. Lisa Stockton's group out of New Orleans. They still have all their goals on the table available to them despite the loss the other night. Meanwhile, the Bulls, of course, we've noted the injury bug. That's their obvious headline this year.
Lincoln, they've had this game circled on their calendar. They want to beat USF. They've lost 9 times in a row. USF has lost 50 points of their offense. They're decimated with injuries, but they're 7-1 at home, and they're really confident here. It's going to be a great matchup. Take
a look at some of the keys to the matchup, Coach, including for the Green Wave, your ideas of what they'll need to get a win here on the road.
Well, they're going to have a versatile offense, meaning everybody's got to come in and contribute. Pressure the young players of USF, and also mix up their defenses to keep them off kilter.
And of course, for the Bulls, no surprise, one of the top things you expect them to be able to accomplish today is the rebounding. They're one of the top in the nation.
Not only top in the nation, but number 1 in the American Athletic Conference. They out-rebounded UConn the other night by 20. They're tough, and they also need to defend in the half court and handle their pressure.
Well, Tulane these days has some super sophomores leading the way. That includes, of course, Crystal Freeman.
Crystal Freeman, she has been massive. She got 20 rebounds in a game against ECU, 1 short of the school record. She's just a monster on the board. She's a very physical, strong player. Look for them to go to her today.
And of course, for the Bulls, if you were to draw any player name out of the hat, chances are it's an international player. The one you'll keep your eye on early on is Enna Pahajic.
Enna, she's been on fire. In the last week 7, she scored 45 points in 3 games. She's going to shoulder a bulk of the scoring tonight, and hopefully the shots will go down.
Bulls and Green Wave tipping off when we come back here on the American Digital Network, live from Tampa.
When everything's a little different, one thing remains the same: the chance to make a real difference. Because the norm here is anything but. Every day our volume grows. Every moment a bit more colorful than the last. From a city that's 300 years old, we inspire things that are entirely new. Because that's what creates the change the world desperately needs.
Just about ready to get underway inside the Yangling Center in Tampa. Lincoln Rose, Angela Beck with you. Take a look at the starting lineup for both squads. And again, for the Green Wave, sophomores have helped step up their game this year. That includes Kayla Anderson, the first ever sophomore to be named captain, while Lisa Stockton has been at the helm of this program for 2.5 decades. And of course, for the Bulls, only 1 Florida native on the entire roster. That'll change next year when they inject another American onto this roster. But Jose Fernandez has found a lot of success over the years with the international players. Lincoln Rose, Angela Beck with you here on the American Digital Network. And for the first time today, a chance to check in with Despina McLaughlin.
Well, Lincoln, I got to catch up with both head coaches, and Jose Fernandez is working with 9 tonight, as you guys know, but that's no surprise, and these young guys have been getting valuable minutes. He expects them to take care of the boards, and they're learning to protect the ball as they go. As far as Lisa Stockton and Tulane, they know this is a young team, so they're looking to change things up on them on the defensive end, keeping them unnerved. So it's about forcing early turnovers for this Tulane team and taking care of the offensive boards, guys.
Despina, thank you. And for everybody tuning in, Despina will be checking back throughout the broadcast, hoping that those of you watching from wherever you may be, and obviously when we have the Bulls, we tend to have a slightly larger international audience. Great to have you with us on the American Digital Network. Those of you tuning in on Facebook, a chance to be interactive throughout the broadcast. Bulls missing on their shot on their first trip down the court. Green Wave looking for the opening advantage. Both these teams played UConn in their last outing. The difference is the Bulls have had a full week since then. Since last weekend's matchup, a little up and down, it'll be a turnover.
Well, obviously, Lincoln, both teams trying to settle into what they want to do. The Bulls do a great job of getting you out of your offense and not letting you do what you want to do. And that's a good indication right there that they're started off on the right foot.
Hatchet picks up her dribble, gets it right back.
What I expected was a little extended defense here by Tulane early because they don't have the numbers, USF, and they're going to try to tire them out as this game goes along.
Said Pahajic. Obviously, that was Luisa Septe, who actually is a mid-season addition, the freshman out of Latvia. Rebound down to Harlan Wyatt, senior from Atlanta. Green Wave wearing the baby blue today. Pulling up for three, just won't go for the talent out of New Zealand, Manu Idirungi.
Good first look for her. Exactly what they're looking for. They haven't shot the ball extremely well in the last few games, so they're really trying to get on track.
Well, Lisa Stockton, 25th year. A few years ago, picked up her 500th career victory. This year, picked up her 500th win at Tulane alone. A 28-year career in which, again, a lot of great success guiding the Green Wave back to the postseason. Have to imagine they'll be looking for postseason play once again this year. And a shot off the mark will be hauled in by Tamara Henshaw, your only Floridian, again, for the Bulls this year.
Both teams a little flat coming out of the gate here. Let's see who can get on the scoreboard.
This is Anna Pahajic, and able to hold her ground defensively again. Harlan Wyatt, the 6'2 senior, making her 16th start on the year.
That was a great block inside by Wyatt. She's 8th time on their list of blocks, and she's really been cranking it up here lately.
Well, again, I know we've been alluding to the injuries, and for those who haven't been following the Bulls this year all season long, a couple of players with ACLs, Surratt and Loxa out for the year. Jordan then mid-season with a leg injury. Raider in concussion protocol, and finally on the board early on. Bulls with an advantage, and Laura Ferreira out today with an illness. In fact, Jose Fernandez across the way looking pretty good. He had a bit of a bug this week as well.
Yeah, he wasn't able to get on the conference call, but his 10-year assistant did a nice job of Michelle Woods.
Yeah, Coach B.
Promoting their enthusiasm for this game.
Jose Fernandez in 19 years with USF, 6 NCAA tournaments, including the last 4 years, 8 WNITs, your all-time winningest head coach, whether it be for the men's or women's program in Bulls history, and 6 straight 20-win seasons, and all of a sudden both teams with scores on their last possession. It's Freeman with the triple.
Well, Freeman's 2 for 6 from the year from 3, so that's a nice little take for her early to get her going.
Being pestered right now defensively by Anderson. Shot blocked. And is able to hold her ground again is Wyatt.
Second block for the game. She's not let him take it inside. I like the way that they're trying to attack the basket, but she's staying firm on her ground.
On the opposite end, a little baseline step back for Crystal Freeman.
That was a nice little touch move by her. You don't want to get her going too much if you're USF.
Crystal had minimum playing time really as a freshman, but has upped her game this year. Now your leading scorer, almost 13 points per outing. And a foul is going to keep things right here.
Well, that time Cheatham had a nice block out, but she just pushed her under a bit, so they called the foul on her. But nice job. I think they know that they can't allow a lot of offensive rebounds, so Tulane's trying to do a really good job of being physical early.
Ryan Burnett heading up our officiating crew today. Cameron Anuya and Kevin Peffel, our 3 official crew.
Well, Cheatham didn't have a great offensive game against UConn, but she's starting to crank it up here today.
Well, a slow start, but it's Tulane able to pick up 8 of the first 10 points. Right now a 6-point advantage here on the road. And let's check back in with Despina courtside.
Well, Lincoln and Angela, you might notice some extra orange here in the gym. Some of the assistant coaches on both sides are wearing it because it's back Pat night here. They're wearing orange to support Pat Summit and finding a cure to end Alzheimer's. So that is why the extra orange. And today, all of you guys watching, wherever you're watching from on social media, we kind of want to interact with you and find out where you are. Go ahead and tweet at us your location, message us, because we're going to pull up some of the coolest places later in the broadcast and display those on our screen. So go ahead, get your Twitter fingers ready. All right, guys, back to you.
And that should be a fun one as USF players from 6 different countries, though right now the Bulls trailing the Green Wave by 6.
At the American, we know that power isn't for the faint of heart. Power is reserved for the go-getters, the team players, and those who are hungry for victory. We know power because we are power. Join us for the 2019 American Athletic Conference Women's Basketball Championship, March 8th through the 11th at the Mohegan Sun Arena in Uncasville, Connecticut. More than 7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 22 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American, powered by determination.
Back inside the Yingling Center, home of the USF Bulls. It is a doubleheader today for the women's and men's programs. The men will be hosting Houston a little bit later on. Great to have the women's matchup here on the American Digital Network. Lincoln Rose, Angela Beck with you as right now Tulane 3 of 5 from the floor. Off to a nice 60% clip. The Bulls just 1 of their first 8. The Bulls, they can make a lot of excuses, but they don't. They are still one of the top rebounders. You know you're going to get a great effort from them day in, day out if you're Jose Fernandez. Still a lot of optimism on the year.
I was amazed at our conversation with them and how optimistic they are, how excited they are. They don't make excuses. Right now, I mean, they're 1 for 8. The guards just need to get on track. You know, Septe and Harvey have been the ones that have been focused on. Now they go inside, which I like.
That's another block by this Green Wave defense. That time, Crystal Freeman joining the block party.
Seems like in the conference, it's just the blocks have been so much more than any other year I've seen. Every team just has 2 or 3 really good blockers, or they're doing a better job of teaching how to block. This one, she does leave her feet, does come down with the hand, but you know, she doesn't get it called. But
now Freeman tried to double dip. She got the block, and then on the second effort, picks up the foul, which leads to the free throw here by Leverett.
But as USF is pretty young. You know, right now they got 2 freshmen, a couple sophomores, and a junior in there. So, but I'm impressed with how they're being aggressive offensively and not just being on the perimeter, but trying to attack this defense.
Elisa Pinzon, the freshman from Italy, is in right now for Coach Fernandez and the Bulls. Tulane still with its starting 5. Looking for their second 3. That one won't go down. And the rebound winds up with the Bulls and Hinshaw.
I know they've hit a 3, but I'd like to see them get the ball in and let them have some touches inside.
Nice confident move. Shot just wouldn't go for Leverett. Wide open from the corner. Cannot get it to go down. Again, Kayla Manuitirungi, the junior out of New Zealand.
Well, Tulane got a favor from the officials on that one because that was a definite double dribble on the way down for Anderson.
A little stop and pop, and your first triple for the Bulls belongs to Sydney Harvey.
Well, they're very high on Sydney Harvey. Not a good leader. You mentioned it in the opening about her being named captain, but she's a good leader, and she's been amazing.
Freshman out of Nashville, averaging almost 13 points a ball game. Nobody with a better defensive stance than Jose Fernandez.
Well, just the fact that they won't let you run their offense. He's running a little trap anytime you send it to the wing.
He's having his players run the trap, but it looks like he could as well.
Yeah, whatever he wants them to do, they're doing. But that's taking away the inside game of Crystal Freeman, and that's what she hasn't touched the ball inside yet. So he will take away your greatest strength. That's why he is a great coach, and he's done it every time down so far. He's going to make them find another way to score.
Going to get a foul on Kayla Anderson coming out to defend the ball. Lisa Stockton will go to her bench. As for the first time today, we see Dinah Jones, the freshman from New Orleans, getting to play for her hometown team. She comes on for Manuitirungi. It's a little 4-0 run right now for USF, trying to erase what was a 6-point deficit. Extra pass out to the wing, this one off the mark. And last touch by Tulane.
Yeah, that was greatly off the mark. Couple air balls for USF here early. One of the things Tulane talked about was mixing up their defense, so they went to a zone that series, a 1-2-2, and it kind of threw them off.
And now back the other way. Bulls again did not have a midweek game. They were up in Storrs, Connecticut for their clash with the Huskies, 63-46 the final there. And Tulane, after a 3-0 start, ran into UConn in New Orleans midweek.
Well, this is definitely a boxing match in the sense that these guys are just strategizing, these coaches left and right, trying to figure out what exactly who to take away. There have been some early, turnovers that are kind of not necessary, but generally speaking, these coaches are controlling the tempo of this game.
Dinah Jones, the freshman, called for the offensive foul. Turnover for Green Wave. Gives the Bulls another chance to tie or possibly take the lead for the first time. 3.5 to go here in the opening quarter. Green Wave being led by Crystal Freeman's 5 points. Cheatham's chimed in with the remaining 3. While Harvey with 5 of the 6 points for the Bulls. And now USF does have that first advantage. And again, it's Harvey.
Well, Harvey, if she gets her feet set, she's dangerous, and she doesn't care if she has to go into the NBA range to do it. So they need to extend a little bit more out towards her.
Harvey is 3 of 5 from the floor. Her teammates are 0 for 8. Step back. And cannot bank it in that time from Jones.
Well, once again, perimeter shooting for Tulane. The bigs aren't getting any touches yet. Credit USF defense.
Tulane trailing for the first time, albeit just by 1. Mid-range jumper won't go. Freeman gets her own miss. But taken away. No second chance opportunity as Shea Leverett wanted it more. And contact down low. Another foul will be called on Dinah Jones in the Green Wave, as the Bulls will keep it on this end.
Yeah, it's physical in there. Both teams know that, obviously they're both good rebounding teams, but USF is the dominant rebounding team, so they're going to be pushing people around a little bit. So look for this game to have a few more fouls than usual.
Henshaw looking for her first points, trying to add to a 7-0 run for USF over the past 3.5 minutes. Hadjic will head to the bench.
There's a good look. I'm not sure why she's not getting it.
Aaron Gutierrez came in during the free throws. Freshman from right here in Florida, from Pembroke Pines.
There you go. I mean, good feet inside. I mean, she was open at Wyatt. They've got to go into her. She had, you know, great post position. She just took it up and under and scored. So first time their posts have touched it, they've got to be patient and find that.
First shot attempt on the day for Wyatt. As the Green Wave back within one. Just open long enough to get off the shot. Sydney Harvey again, the freshman from Nashville. A 34% shooter in her first year of college ball. From beyond the arc, on the money that time.
She has an outstanding high arcer, and we'll talk about the high arc and how great that is for a shooter.
She already has 11 points, almost matching her season average. But Tulane hanging in there. The response from Kessner, the freshman. Kessner's already surpassed her season average, was averaging about half a point a ball game this year, averaging about 6 minutes. And all of a sudden the tempo is picking up here with 30 seconds to go in the opening quarter. They'll let things play out. Green Wave with the offensive rebound and the putback.
Well, first nice post shot by Crystal Freeman on the you know, picking up off the board. So good hustle.
Arlen Wyatt able to clean things up from the elbow. Well, 10 minutes in the books. Minimal separation. The Bulls at home today with a 2-point lead. Trying to pick up another win in this growing rivalry against the Green Wave.
This is our game, our moment, our time. We work hard and play harder. We stay loyal to the game and to our team. We are power. American power. The American, powered by determination.
Strong in mind, strong in body, strong in school, sport, life.
The grind is 10% physical and 90% mental.
The mind is the power.
The body is the means to jump higher, run faster,
be smarter, and live longer.
There is no weakness when it comes to seeking help.
We are stronger together.
So let's talk about it.
A waterfall starts with one drop.
Change starts with one person.
The American is dedicated to ending the stigma related to mental health.
And promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
Promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
Birdie scores!
3 strikeouts in a row.
Dominance for a 4th straight year. Cueto from 30!
Unbelievable. And be able to celebrate this type of championship.
There's the record breaker. They are the champions of the American.
Well, the Bulls, with a strong finish to the opening quarter, have themselves a 2-point lead coming into the second frame now. Despite shooting just 29% in those first 10 minutes of play. Lincoln Rose, Angela Beck back with you here on the American Digital Network. First time we've had a chance to see the Bulls and the Green Wave here on ADN, but due to popular demand, once again, let's get a chance to check in with Despina.
Lincoln, guys, there's no doubt there's a lot of experience on the court right now with Jose Fernandez and Lisa Stockton, but for specifically Tulane, Lisa Stockton is in her 25th season. She hit the over 500 win mark earlier this year, and so we're going to take it to social media now and test your trivia back at home. The question is, how many postseason appearances has Stockton guided the Green Wave to? All right, let us know what you think, and we'll pull it up later up in the show. Lincoln?
Thank you very much. Again, the graduate of Wake Forest, former Demon Deacon Lisa Stockton. After 3 years as the head coach, accepted a job at Tulane, has been there ever since for the past 25 seasons. She's surrounded by a great staff: Alan Fry, Dosha Woods, Beth Dunkenberger, and former guard Leslie Vorpal a couple years ago played her senior year for the Green Wave, went overseas, played professionally last year before injuring her knee. And Coach Stockton said, hey, how about you come back, rehab in the States, work on your master's degree, and be a coach for me this year as a graduate assistant. And the Bulls fans would love to see more of that.
Well, they said they were comfortable at home and they were confident at home, and one reason is because they shoot well at home. And that was a great take. They're shooting from the three-point arc is really beautiful. High arcing shots, great chance to go in.
Henshaw makes her first triple. The Bulls are shooting 4 of 6. They're shooting twice as well from beyond the arc than they are from the floor altogether today.
Well, for young players, you have to understand, the higher the arc, the more chance you're going to have to make the shot. So that's a great shooting technique if you can get more arch on your shot.
USF is shooting 4 of 6 from downtown, just 2 of 12 from inside the arc.
Well, they started getting into Wyatt and Freeman, and that was effective for them. It was a great first quarter, by the way, 16-14 first quarter. I felt it was well played by both teams.
And a walk is called on Gutierrez, so the freshman and the Green Wave will never get a shot off right now, trailing by 5.
Well, there's sometimes you just have to punch, dribble, and punch it back and not keep going forward. And she got kind of caught up in that little one-on-one, and it's, you know, you need to see the floor a little better.
Bulls hit the 3 on their last trip down. And I want to correct things again. Pahajic with the three-pointer earlier, and now with her second.
Well, they're bringing her, swinging her off this little pick, and she's got her rhythm, and she can shoot right off that.
A loose ball. Green Wave winds up with it, and now tied up. They did not call for a timeout, and possession arrow will keep it here.
So on that baseline screen where USF is bringing Pahajic, they need to either switch that or something, but they're getting the shooter too open, and that's hurting them right now.
Again, the Bulls being led today by Harvey, the freshman, with half of their 22 points. She's averaging 13 a ball game already with 11. Big part of the comeback right now. Lisa Stockton's group trying to find some rhythm.
Well, credit Jose Fernandez for this man-to-man defense he teaches. He doesn't, just because they're freshmen and young and new, he's not going out of it. He's staying in it. And look what happens.
Oh, it was a nice effort from Gutierrez, but then the turnover. Pins on.
I mean, how hard is that to teach that kind of thing with so many people from so many countries? It's got to be very difficult, but they do a great job.
Yeah, we just take for granted that these players have come over to the States. They spend so much time as 18, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds away from their family. Some of the family members able to come over the holidays to get to see their daughters. But that's not a given, so then you look to some of the American players to really kind of play host and help integrate their new teammates to the States and make them feel welcome. But that's something that this Bulls culture has been so good at over the years under Jose Fernandez. Another offensive rebound, looking for more, headed to the free throw line. The effort of Shea Leverett down low.
Well, that was a great set play where they were screening down for the three-point shooter. Leverett she just bulldozed herself down low, got the offensive rebound. So when she screened out for the shooter, she just got underneath right there. Got some room and put it back.
And Beatrice Jordan went out with a leg injury. Leverett saw her minutes increase. When we were talking to associate head coach Michelle Woods-Baxter at USF, she simply says, look, Shea has a knack for rebounding well. Always seems to be in the right place and wind up with the basketball in critical moments.
They're getting a little bit of separation here now, so it's important that Tulane put on a couple offensive series here that means something.
Yeah, this is a 16-point swing. And you see the miscues adding up. Bulls with those 10 points off of Tulane turnovers.
See the smiles on their faces. You know, you just never know with a new group and as deep as they've had to dig and as many leaders and points that they've lost in their offense. But back to how amazed I was at their coaching staff. You know, so many coaching staffs just kind of sour grape you a little bit, even though they know they can probably win. There was no sour graping, not one bit. We're just excited. We're going to keep working, and we're going to learn, and we're going to get better. And
the Bulls open conference in Philadelphia win at Temple, but then a rare loss in the war on I-4 rivalry with UCF. Of course, KK Wright and company off to a great start for the Knights. And then the loss at UConn right now has these Bulls at 1-2, trying to pull back to 500 off to a good start here.
Well, another offensive board, though. All their guards are going to the boards, too, so you got to block out.
And another turnover for the Green Wave.
Well, Green Wave a little bit out of sorts here. You know, one pass and then that dribble drive to the baseline is probably not what Stockton wants. They need to get a little rhythm developed in their offense, make them work on defense, and get it down low.
She's tried to find an answer. She has played 5 players off of her bench already. USF does not have that luxury today. Hadjic going on a little world tour. And they will call an offensive foul. That restricted arc on the outside is the one these days that applies to both the men and the women.
Well, that's Schulte with the big, you know, bellying up, taking that charge, sacrificing her body for the good of the team.
Leverett picks up her first. See if Tulane can have a good possession here.
This is it's called set here, which they need.
Able to get a close look. Still the possession after the shot denied for Harlan Wyatt.
Shea Leverett got her hand on that one. Both these teams are great defensive teams, take a lot of pride in it, so nothing's coming easy here this afternoon.
Kick out, open look, heaved up that time by Manu Idirangi, and it won't go.
Well, both teams would like to get some transition going, especially USF because they're kind of decimated.
Harvey guarded by 3 members of the Green Wave, and the Bulls are going to get another look, and headed back to the free throw line will be Shea Leverett.
Yeah, Schulte just got a little bit of that. It was kind of sloppy, but enough for a call.
The first personal on the senior, Meredith Schulte.
Well, Leverett is an impressive player at 6'2". She was on the honor roll with 10 points and 10 rebounds, 6 blocks against UConn. That's not a small task.
6 blocks against UConn.
Yeah, and double-double. So she looks like a warrior. Her body is it's strong. And, you know, she's going to go ahead and probably got a couple stitches up there. She doesn't care. She's coming out.
Averaging about 22 minutes this year. And again, that has continued to increase. Five and a half to go here in the opening half.
Yep.
Tulane got off to an 8-2 start in this ball game. Went cold for about 3.5 minutes, and that coincided with the Bulls finally finding their stride back here at home.
Well, Lofton's come off the bench a couple times for him, number 11 for Tulane, and scored in double figures, but tonight she's had a couple quick turnovers.
There are your numbers on turnovers. And a foul away from the basketball. We'll give it back to Tulane. Green Wave right now shooting 40%, but they've got 9 fewer shots up than USF. Again, part of that's the rebounding game for the Bulls, giving them some opportunities. USF with 9 second chance points compared to just 2 for the visiting team today. Nice pass, find the open look. On the money for Kayla Anderson.
Well, excellent way to handle the trap in the corner. She split the trap, threw it to the weak side, and Anderson was able to set her feet, which made her good.
You can't then allow Rosenthal, the freshman from Latvia, to just come right down the heart of the defense. She now hits the free throw line. Yanetta, just 8 of 13 on her young career from the charity stripe. She'll shoot a pair when we come back to Tampa. As right now, 28-17, still a double-digit advantage for the home team.
At the American, we know that power isn't for the faint of heart. Power is reserved for the go-getters, the team players, and those who are hungry for victory. We know power because we are power. Join us for the 2019 American Athletic Conference Women's Basketball Championship, March 8th through the 11th at the Mohegan Sun Arena in Uncasville, Connecticut.
Power comes in all forms.
Power is a big tackle,
A big save, a clutch hit.
Or a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right.
There is power in the sportsmanship that is displayed across the American.
Power is respecting opponents,
Officials,
student athletes,
coaches, and team representatives. Power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments,
Profanities or other improper actions while at the game.
The American.
Power for life.
The American. Power for life.
The American. Power for life.
Scores!
3 strikeouts in a row.
Dominance for a 4th straight year. Quaso from 30!
Unbelievable. And be able to celebrate this type of championship.
There's the record breaker. They are the champions of the American.
Bulls outscoring the Green Wave here in the second quarter, 12-3 to grow their advantage to 11. A big part of it has been the three-point shooting of Sydney Harvey, the freshman, and Pahajic, the sophomore. They're combined now 5 of 7 from downtown Tampa.
Well, once they get their feet set, it's over. Both of them are great three-point shooting players, but they're also running a great deal of sets for them, running them off these sets, getting ball reverse and finding them wide open, and they're just nailing them.
In total, they've combined for 19 of the 28 points for the Bulls. Bulls are still shooting significantly better from beyond the arc than inside the arc, but they're also shooting well from the free throw line, and that's where they'll find themselves here with a couple of free throws coming out of the timeout.
Well, they don't really have a post-oriented game to go to right now, so it's going to be pretty much the 3 rocking or off dribble penetration and off the offensive boards, period.
Yanetta Rosenthal out of Latvia. 2 Latvia natives on this roster. Luisa Septe was the mid-season addition, also a freshman from her home country. And Yanetta now 9 of 14 for her young career from the charity stripe. Her 17th appearance this year, averaging about 10 minutes, a couple of points, a couple of rebounds per ball game. Matches her season average there.
There's no fear in their freshmen. Their freshmen play like well-oiled machines.
Both teams getting a lot of production from their younger players these days. Anderson, 10 to shoot. As that one drifts left for Cheatham, looking for the 3. Green Wave doing a good job getting back defensively. Looking for a stop right now, down by 13. Pahajic works it inside, and again, works it inside to the 6'2" sophomore. Leverett gets the bucket, and a free throw coming up for Shea.
Well, you can't discount Shea. She's like saying, what are you talking about? My guards are the only one shooting. I'm the post, and they're going to me. So, yeah, she is their inside threat, and she is getting deep in the paint. They've got to do a better job of pushing her out.
Bulls were excited this year about the players they had returning, also with the young players being added to the mix. The question was just how far could this group go, and even with these injuries, the Bulls will look to fight for a postseason opportunity. 4 straight NCAA tournaments for USF.
That's kind of a broken play for Tulane. They were supposed to run something, they didn't do it, and they just jacked up a 3, and they're one and done. So it's very important that they get continuity and run something. The Bulls are totally taking them out of their attack.
But Tulane still only has 3 points in this quarter. They've watched the deficit grow by 13. And the whistle will send it back.
Yeah, a little offensive charge by Septe. I like what she was doing because they were trapping over in the deep corner, so she was going to drive to the basket, but they just got there a little quicker. A good thought.
We'll see Louisa Septe when she's in the ball game, guarding the best perimeter player for the Green Wave and the best perimeter players throughout this conference. A big task that the freshman has been up to so far this year.
Anderson's been a little quiet here. I think for the role that she has on this team, I'd like to see a little more dribble penetration and action from her. There you go.
Couple steps beyond the arc, and there is Kayla Anderson.
Well, I was calling it from the bench.
Had some ups and downs like a lot of freshmen a year ago. These days, your captain, a lot more steady. Now, she's been good at getting her teammates involved among the assist leaders in the conference, but the Bulls able to answer right back with Tamara Hinshaw.
Well, just a great take by Shea, and then weak side boards. They command them.
Henshaw was flirting with a double-double against UConn last weekend. Bulls continued to rebound well last week against the Huskies. You know, Jose Fernandez, when it's practice time, you'll see several men in practice gear as they will play against a men's squad in practice. It's pretty common around the country.
It's necessary. It has to. There's no one that can play them. So, yeah, they all have practice squads, but that one there, they talk a lot about the reason they're a great rebounding team is because of their practice team. And that says a lot about the kind of guys that you're playing with.
What do you think, Jose Fernandez or Ron Huey at Houston? Better hamstrings and better overall defensive positioning on the sidelines throughout the game for 40 minutes.
I'm not going to pick because that would make me, partial to one team. So you go ahead. I'll leave that up to you.
Kudos to their tailors.
Yes.
Who give them suits that they can perform in on those sidelines. So fun to watch, and again, both coaches enjoying a lot of success these days.
I like this extended defense because they're not really stopping them from running their offense. So see if they can stretch it a little bit.
Henshaw able to track it down. Well, Tulane's had a couple of successful possessions now after being stuck on 3 points this quarter. Right now being outscored 18-8. And a loose ball. Guess what? Bulls with another rebound. More second chance points. And a nice day so far for Shea Leverett.
Unbelievable strength in there. 7 rebounds so far today. That's she's being real tough.
7 first half boards for Leverett.
Well, she just doesn't give up. She tipped it, then she, bodied it, and then kept it alive, and then went straight up, and that's hard to stop.
She has matched her teammate Harvey for the game high 11 points. Bulls have only had 2 players off the bench today, and Pinzon and Rosentale. Mentioned Tulane has played 10 players thus far in this half. Approaching the final minute, and now everything's going the way of the Bulls. Sydney Harvey from the elbow.
Well, she's money.
And just the shot put throw from Manu Idirungi, the unique approach from our New Zealand native.
Well, they're coming off an emotional loss to Connecticut where they were, pretty much commanded by Connecticut. In the same week they're playing USF. So this is a real tough call for Tulane, 2 days later to prepare for this team. You just wonder maybe how much mentally that did to them or physically. I mean, they're just, the Bulls are having their way. They're so confident right now. Everyone's just stroking it at will.
Pahajic last year, just kind of a role player, recovering from her own knee injury in the past. Really has stepped up her game now as a sophomore. Tulane can hold for the final look unless they throw it away.
Yeah, just I'm going to credit USF for just flustering them. They're just out of sorts. Nothing's gone their way, and it's because USF has played them extremely physically. They have gotten through their picks. They've kind of been impatient, Tulane, and USF just played two good quarters so far.
Tulane's going to go to half on a 2-minute drought, during which USF is on a 6-0 run. And looking to add a couple more right here. Not going to happen. It's going to be an 18-point lead as these two teams head to the locker room. A slow start for the Bulls, but things have finally started to click for USF. A rare 1-2 start in the American this year. They're starting to find their stride with some new cast members getting extended minutes for Jose Fernandez. Coach Fernandez is now with Despina.
Thanks, guys. Coach, you built up a nice 18-point lead, but you struggled early on. Once you start hitting those outside shots, how did that allow you to play in the game you wanted to play?
Well, I thought that for us, that's probably the best we've played offensively the last two games. You know, we played 6-7 people. It starts on the defensive end with us. If we can continue to defend and rebound, the offensive end will take care of itself.
Talk to me about that down-low game with Leverett down in the paint. What do you like about that matchup? She's dominating.
Well, if we can continue to get it to her inside on single, you know, on one-on-one coverage, she does such a great job of collecting the basket and finishing.
What will you ask of your team to finish this game off in the second half?
Well, the big thing is don't look at the score. Look what got you in this. It's playing hard, defending the arc, rebounding, you know, making sure we take care of the basketball.
All right, Coach, good luck to you in the second half.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
As Despina mentioned, Shea Leverett, the one player to play all 20 minutes in that first half. 11 points, 7 rebounds to show for it. Her Bulls in the driver's seat as we've reached halftime.
At the American, we know that power isn't for the faint of heart. Power is reserved for the go-getters, the team players, and those who are hungry for victory. We know power because we are power. Join us for the 2019 American Athletic Conference Women's Basketball Championship, March 8th through the 11th at the Mohegan Sun Arena in Uncasville, Connecticut.
When everything's a little different, one thing remains the same: the chance to make a real difference. Because the norm here is anything but. Every day our volume grows. Every moment a bit more colorful than the last. From a city that's 300 years old, we inspire things that are entirely new. Because that's what creates the change the world desperately needs.
What's better, winning by a buzzer beater or blowing the team out?
Buzzer beater, no doubt. It just gives different kind of emotions. The best memory should be my freshman year.
No one guarding Loxa, fires for three, swish. SMU stunned, and they have to take a timeout.
Going through the college experience for the first time, going to the second round, playing with great teammates, having a great coaching staff, just the first experience itself.
Which one of your teammates spends the most amount of time in front of the mirror?
Laura, look at her hair. Look at her hair. She flips her hair around, does her eyebrows as she mentioned. There's a lot of mirror there. I love Friends. I love Grey's Anatomy. I don't know, I like even cartoons. Like there's a lot of stuff. South Florida, go Bulls!
More than 7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 22 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American, powered by determination. At the American, we know that power isn't for the faint of heart. Power is reserved for the go-getters, the team players, and who are hungry for victory. We know power because we are power. Join us for the 2019 American Athletic Conference Women's Basketball Championship, March 8th through the 11th at the Mohegan Sun Arena in Uncasville, Connecticut.
Time in Tampa between the USF Bulls and the Tulane Green Wave. Let's look at the big picture in the American. Some honors handed out this past week, including for a second straight week, the Freshman of the Week, Desiree Lewis of Tulsa, helped get them off to that great 3-0 start.
Well, she has the confidence of a senior, body of a senior. She's just a strong body. She can take you to the hole. She rebounds tough for them, and she's been a big reason why they've been in the top half of the conference.
Already had 3 double-doubles so far in her young conference campaign. And, of course, KK Wright, your player of the week for last week. She has scored in double figures now all 17 ball games on the season.
What I like about her is she's filling it up at every angle. Now, the tank's not empty anywhere. She's scoring, she's rebounding, she's putting in the assists, she's getting the steals. She's doing it all for them. She's an amazing player, first team, all conference, I predict.
KK Wright, your American Athletic Conference Player of the Week. Halftime continues here in Tampa.
This is our game, our moment, our time. We work hard and play harder. We stay loyal to the game and to our team. We are power, American power. The American, powered by determination.
Strong in mind, strong in body, strong in school, sport, life.
The grind is 10% physical and 90% mental.
The mind is the power.
The body is a means to jump higher, run faster,
be smarter, and live longer.
There is no weakness when it comes to seeking help.
We are stronger together.
So let's talk about it.
A waterfall starts with one drop.
Change starts with one person.
The American is dedicated to ending the stigma related to mental health
and promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
Promoting success through a healthy, powerful mind.
Power comes in all forms.
Power is a big tackle,
a big save, a clutch hit,
or a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right.
There is power in the sportsmanship that is displayed across the American.
Power is respecting opponents,
officials,
student athletes,
coaches, and team representatives. Power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments,
profanities, or other improper actions while at the game.
The American.
Power for life.
The American. Power for life.
The American. Power for life.
Birdie scores!
3 strikeouts in a row.
Dominance for a 4th straight year.
Hueso from 30!
Unbelievable. And be able to celebrate this type of championship.
There's the record breaker. They are the champions of the American.
Well, after a slow start in the opening quarter, the Bulls able to outscore Tulane in that second frame 24-8 and take an 18-point lead into halftime. Lincoln Rose, Coach Angela Beck back with you here on the American Digital Network in Tampa. Well, the inside game was working for Leverage. She's 2 rebounds shy of a double-double. Of course, the outside game got going as well for the Bulls. It was Tulane early on able to find some success defensively down low, but again, persistence paying off for the home team.
Well, it was Sydney and Harvey, and you know they were shooting from the outside, Anna, and then inside they were just commanding the boards. They basically just dissected Tulane from every part. Defensively, they stuffed them. Offensively, they hit their open jumpers. They shared the ball. They had the rhythm on offense. They ran sets. Everything that they did was positive. Not enough Anderson on Tulane's team. That was a great shot for them. Not enough Freeman inside. So they've got to find a way to get the ball inside and make this something happen. They turned the ball over a little bit too much. And obviously they didn't shoot as many threes as they did and didn't have as many opportunities. They had 10 less shots at goal.
Yeah, 10 fewer shots. You see the points off turnovers favoring the Bulls as their defense creating some additional opportunities for them. And again, the Green Wave cooling off offensively there near the end of the opening half. So right now, a 40-22 edge at the break. When we come back, a chance to check in with Coach Lisa Stockton and the Green Wave, and the third quarter getting underway here on the American Digital Network.
When everything's a little different, one thing remains the same: the chance to make a real difference. Because the norm here is anything but. Every day our volume grows, every moment a bit more colorful than the last. From a city that's 300 years old, we inspire things that are entirely new. Because that's what creates the change the world desperately needs.
More than 7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 22 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power Six conference known as the American, powered by determination. At the American, we know that power isn't for the faint of heart. Power is reserved for the go-getters, the team players, and those who are hungry for victory. We know power because we are power. Join us for the 2019 American Athletic Conference Women's Basketball Championship, March 8th through the 11th at the Mohegan Sun Arena in Uncasville, Connecticut.
Power comes in all forms.
Power is a big tackle,
a big save, a clutch hit,
or a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right. There is power in the sportsmanship that is displayed across the American.
Power is respecting opponents,
Officials,
student athletes,
coaches, and team representatives. Power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments,
profanities, or other improper actions while at the game.
The American.
Power for life.
The American, power for life.
The American,
power for life.
Well, right now, a 40-22 point edge for the home team Bulls. When we had a chance to talk to Lisa Stockton during the week, head coach of Tulane, she knew she'd be up against a physical defensive bunch regardless of who was healthy and who wasn't healthy for USF.
Well, she was afraid of them taking them out of their offense. and their turnovers just really just started compiling and then allowing them to transition and score off them. So they're trapped in that corner. I heard them all afternoon. So, you know, just they did take them. They dictate your offense, and that's what USF did.
So again, 11 turnovers in that opening half. One of the areas they will look to improve here as both teams now emerging from the locker room.
I mean, this has got to be a disappointing start for Tulane. I mean, they expected this to be a game. They expected to win this game. And for them to be decimated like they were in the first half by a team that's, you know, been decimated by injuries, I mean, it's disappointing. I'm sure Stockton's like, come on, we've got to get it together. I just didn't see any leadership out there for them to, you know, to get the rhythm back.
Well, it's a group that started off with wins over ECU, Temple, and SMU before suffering their first loss in conference play. But you wouldn't know it. But right now, again, it is the Bulls who are on the wrong side of the 500 mark at 1-2 here in conference play. Making no excuses. The players they have are making the most of their minutes.
Well, they are. And, you know, it's exciting if you're a coach and you can get these players that are deeper on your bench to perform like this. It's really amazing. And I think I'm going to credit the coaching staff for their calm, cool ability to face this adversity that they've been under and just keep thriving.
Both teams set to go. Fresh 10 minutes on the clock for the third quarter. Again, 3 different Bulls already in double-figure scoring. Harvey with 13, Pahajic with 10, and 2 rebounds shy of a double-double right now, Shea Leverett.
Well, Leverett's been the clear leader from the moment they got on the floor to when they went in the locker room and they didn't score on that last play. Septe didn't, and she took Septe aside and said, hey, you know, this is what we got to do. So she's got this team under control.
Bulls look over to Jose Fernandez and the bench for the call here to get things started.
Well, they run a lot of sets, so expect one of the guards to come off this shooting.
One and done, a victory there for the Green Wave. Rebound for Lofton.
Good defense there by Tulane.
And again, you wanted more looks from Anderson. Only took 4 shots in that first half. Scores on her first try, and now a trip up called on Tulane.
Well, they haven't had too many transition buckets like that, and that's what they need to get their defense, you know, get their offense going is get their defense going. And that was a nice take, but then we have a kind of inadvertent foul by Cheatham on the other side. You can tell that USF is going to be really okay about slowing this thing down. They don't have depth, so they're going to run some sets here in that quarter court and work some time off the clock. And
in for the closer look. Couldn't find the right angle off the glass, but another offensive rebound by Shea Leverett.
Well, Septe, you know, she doesn't have any problem taking the ball to the hole.
A hand in the face, shot off the glass. Harvey able to bank it through. She is officially 4 for 4 from downtown today. And Tulane unable to answer there from Lofton. And they'll get a foul on Tulane as Anna Pahajic was trying to free herself up.
I think Harvey's circus shot was probably the last thing that Stockton wanted to see, because that could mean it's just Harvey's night. I mean, when you're just throwing it up there when you're totally covered and you can't play any better defense, and you bank it in, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, 4 for 4 from beyond the arc. 16 points for Harvey to lead all scores. Green Wave has gotten scoring from 5 of the 10 players we've seen today. Anderson leading the way with 8 points for the visitors. Pinzon. Oh, able to work it down low. Ball just would not drop through for Henshaw, who still strips it away. And if Pahajic fires up a 3, it won't go down, but it's still Bulls basketball.
Well, notice the magician on the sideline, Jose Fernandez. He's got his team under lock and key. This team is just going to eat this clock down run some sets, hit the offensive glass, play great defense.
Anderson able to poke it loose. Shot clock's going to expire.
Good hustle by Anderson. That was the reason that she disrupted all that play.
So Tulane does come up with a stop. Can they put some offense together?
Well, he's a calculating man. I think he feels like if he slows it down on offense and just continues to play the kind of defense and rebound the way they are, that they're going to win the game.
Lofton into Anderson. This is Cheatham, the Houston, Texas native. And the entry denied by Leverett. And a foul before the shot. We'll keep it on the floor with 7 minutes still to play here in this third quarter.
Well, USF is running several picks and cuts and wheelhouse runs through their offense, and it's actually kind of wearing Tulane down.
Bulls will stay home this week for Memphis midweek before traveling to Dallas next weekend to take on SMU. Meanwhile, Tulane, after today, back home against Wichita State next Saturday. They do not have a midweek contest. Tulane right now 3-1, behind a couple of unbeaten UConn and UCF squads in the league right now, each at 4-0. Lob down low, just trying to keep it in play, can't do it.
Well, that block was by Freeman, and let's talk about her. We haven't heard from her for a while. They really are doing a great job of not allowing them to go inside, and we're going to have to give Leverett the MVP for that.
Well, that's the problem with being the player of the week in this conference back-to-back weeks, Crystal Freeman. You start to get the attention of the other teams. Leverett may experience that pretty soon.
Exactly.
Looking for another bank shot. That one won't go through. It's Harvey's first miss from beyond the arc today after hitting her first 4 in a shot clock violation. Sydney came into today shooting 34% this her freshman year from beyond the arc. She's started all 18 games now of her career. She is the only day one starter to start every ball game now for Jose Fernandez.
I think if you ask me what I'm surprised about is the points in the paint. You know, having 16 points in the paint, 14 points in the paint for USF and only 8 by Tulane. I wouldn't have predicted that.
Well, the ball is back to the Bulls. Tulane has now turned the ball over 3 times in the past 3.5 minutes. With that said, the Bulls have not been able to expand this lead. They've missed their last 4 shots, trying to rectify that right here. No, missing her last 2 now, Harvey.
Well, I like the extended defense. It doesn't. What it did was rush their offense a little bit, and that's what she wants. She just wants to get more possessions.
Well, they were determined to get it into Freeman. And a foul committed by USF.
USF is a hard team to defend in the full court because they're such a good passing team. And they are going to get open looks, but you're just going to have to hope that they miss them, and you just start getting the tempo of the game going at a faster pace.
Again, current poll question being posed to you. For those of you watching us on Facebook, how many postseason appearances has Coach Lisa Stockton taken this green wave to? Give you a few more moments to chime in if you haven't. And we'll give you the correct answer. I'll tell you this, Tulane has been to 11 NCAA tournaments, their last one back in 2015, and 7 WNITs, including 2016 and 2017, before missing out last year. Right down the lane, bucket will go. Free throw coming up for Sydney Harvey, who will find another way to perhaps score 3.
USF's ability to be trapped and then find the open man is really good. It's probably the best that I've seen. They get trapped and they split that defense and they can throw it a long way, and that's what makes them tough in the full court.
Just one free throw here for Harvey, a 90% free throw shooter, and the freshman able to connect. So Tulane at the moment down by 20. 18 postseason appearances for Tulane in the NCAA and WNIT. All of them have come under Lisa Stockton.
That's a good take by Freeman. She had help coming in and she still delivered, so she's maybe getting a little bit of a wake-up call here that she needs to do more.
Pinzon works it down low to Leverett. Will come away empty-handed that time. Well, Green Wave have been playing even with USF here in the third quarter, but again, trailed by 18 at the half. Mid-range. It's just her night. Sydney Harvey and that rim. Been spending a lot of time together.
Yeah, and on the other side, they just can't buy a bucket, you know. That's a great transition pass and just a miss by Cheatham.
Harvey with 21 points already in 26 minutes. Pinzon to Leverett, who already has the double-double, 11 and 10. Shot clock not in time, will expire. It's the second shot clock violation this quarter for the Bulls.
I don't think he's happy with that. In fact, he's going to go out and chat with them a little bit, but I think he'd rather have the clock go off because they're eating time.
Let's check back in with Despina.
Yeah, guys, USF obviously down those 5 players, but you can't really tell because they're up by 20 points. It's kind of a unique night because on the bench, all 5 of those players are sitting together for the first time all season. We're seeing Kitty Alaxa, too, without her crutches, and they're having a good old time out here. But now we're going to stop down. We're going to go to social media because we've got another trivia question for you that has to do with this USF team. Here's the question. Which statistical category are the Bulls ranked 6th nationally? That's right now. So go ahead, take the social media, let us know, and we'll pull up those results later in the show. Guys?
For those who caught us at the start of the broadcast, we may have given away the answer. Again, the Bulls among the best in the country in a certain category. Right now, the best on the floor, up by 20.
My dream is probably to go back to New Zealand and create a basketball academy. Growing up, I didn't really have a pathway to get to college, and it was always my dream. So to create a pathway for younger kids to get to America with aspiring dreams. So when I represented my country, New Zealand, I would have the same feeling when I put the Tulane jersey on. It's just a lot of honor, and realizing that people that came before you, that the hard work that they put in to wear this jersey is a huge honor, so you have to wear it with pride.
What emoji do you use the most?
Laughy face.
What emoji describes you the best?
I hope laughy face. I love to sing. I sing a lot in the shower. That's just a beautiful word. Yeah, that's like it. Yeah, thanks. That was not my finest. I'm good in the shower, I promise.
You can do another take if you want.
I'm good, I'm good.
All right.
At the American, we know that power isn't for the faint of heart. Power is reserved for the go-getters, the team players, and those who are hungry for victory. We know power because we are power. Join us for the 2019 American Athletic Conference Women's Basketball Championship, March 8th through the 11th at the Mohegan Sun Arena in Uncasville, Connecticut.
Bulls have been able to grow their lead from halftime from 18 to now a 20-point advantage. As our women's basketball coverage continues here on the American Digital Network. Stick around on the East Coast, UCF against ECU here on Wednesday. And then back in Dallas, these Bulls against Travis Mays' Mustangs. But a full slate looking forward to over the next several weeks, at least 2 games, if not 3, throughout January and February each week. And more rebounds for the Bulls. Well, right now, Harvey is on the bench for USF. She had 20 points, a career high against Vermont back in December. She already has 21 points, a new career high. Here today, the freshman. Again, a well-deserved breather right now. 16-footer straight away from Henshaw.
Well, the catalyst in all that is Shea in the middle. Just there's a good indication she lost her footing, passed it to the open player. She's kind of the glue right now that's keeping everything together.
Leverett already with the double-double afternoon. Again, a reminder, the men will be on this court later on. You have to imagine they love it when the women can tee them up with a victory, get the fans excited about a possible Bulls sweep. Long-range shot off the mark. They say we'll scrape the iron, so the Bulls don't have to take it out.
This is one of the great crowds, great atmosphere in the American. I mean, these guys love their Lady Bulls, and, you know, they come out and support them, and that's one reason they play well at home.
It'd be one thing if the weather was awful this time of year. That's certainly not the case in Tampa, as we have a foul. Leverett called for her second. Tulane down by 22.
Well, you this is the time you want something just different to happen. And I just think the big girl's got to touch it inside.
Nice pull-up jumper from Dinah Jones.
And that's nice, too. Just get something going quick here.
Jones is giving the Green Wave about 7 points per ball game. That ended a stretch where Tulane had missed their previous 4 shots. Bahajic. Just a step inside the arc. That one won't go down, and you'll get a foul on Henshaw, who comes crashing in and takes out Gutierrez.
Yeah, Gutierrez is an interesting player. I think she brings energy to Tulane. I think Lisa is trying to find, you know, a way to get her in there. She does like to push the ball, but sometimes, you know, not everything good happens. Like sometimes she gets too deep or whatever, but she really hasn't got it going quite yet, and she needs to.
It's a homecoming of sorts for Gutierrez, who's from the Miami area, a little farther south.
Good looking shot in there. It just didn't go. Just where they want to be, though.
Oh, just wanted it more, went in there and tied it up. Kayla Anderson. They could use some more of that.
Kayla's saying, come on down, let's go. Yeah, defensively, they just got to stop USF from running their offense. They've got to break up the continuity.
Freeman with 11 points today, the only Tulane player in double figures so far. And free throws coming up for Tulane. Can they find a spark to close out the third to carry them into the fourth quarter here on the road? Tulane, after a 3-0 start, their first loss in conference this past week. Lisa Stockton says it's a very mature group. They all know that everything they set their sights on at the start of the season is still within reach.
It's kind of like you talked about earlier. It's when people start knowing what you want to do, they start trying to take it away, and Crystal Freeman's what they've been wanting to do, and that's why it makes it more difficult. You can't really wait till about, you know, you have to see like the 9th game of the year, where's everybody at, because early on there's some sorting out to do.
Again, Freeman, just a sophomore, will be someone that teams in the American will be game planning around for the next couple of years. Final minute here in the third. Able to clean things up on the back end there, Septe. Got 2 defenders off their feet. Sydney Harvey continues to add to her career day, now 23 points.
Okay, hello. Oh my gosh, what a move. I mean, a little stutter step, head fake, up and under for a freshman.
Yeah,
welcome to the American Athletic Conference.
There's a little baby blue green wave going airborne, and she was somehow able to work her way around it.
Amazing move.
Hadjic, final seconds counting down. Bulls led by 18 at the half. They grow that lead slightly to 20 heading into the final 10 minutes of regulation. Jose Fernandez and his Bulls looking for their second win on the young American Conference slate.
When everything's a little different, one thing remains the same: the chance to make a real difference. Because the norm here is anything but. Every day our volume grows, every moment a bit more colorful than the last. From a city that's 300 years old, we inspire things that are entirely new. Because that's what creates the change the world desperately needs.
At the American, we know that power isn't for the faint of heart. Power is reserved for the go-getters, the team players, and those who are hungry for victory. We know power because we are power. Join us for the 2019 American Athletic Conference Women's Basketball Championship, March 8th through the 11th at the Mohegan Sun Arena in Uncasville, Connecticut.
Just about ready to start the fourth quarter in Tampa, 52-32. The Bulls at home with the advantage. Let's check back in with Despina McLaughlin, who has more trivia for you.
Guys, it's no secret what Jose Fernandez has been building here in Tampa Bay for the last 19 years. The success that this program's been able to build. You can ask the 2,000 plus fans that are here day in, day out, but this program has reached the American Athletic Conference Championship for the last 4 seasons in a row. So our next trivia question comes in with: how many consecutive 20 plus seasons have the Bulls strung together here recently? Go ahead, tell us what you think on social media. We'll have the answer later in the show, guys.
And of course, the previous question that Despina had posed to you was which statistical category USF is 6th nationally in. That is rebounding margin. They have out-rebounded opponents by 12.5 per game. And as Angela mentioned earlier in the broadcast, that does lead the American Conference. So the new question for you now: how many consecutive 20-win seasons have the Bulls had under Jose Fernandez?
Well, they haven't been shooting the ball that well, but during the year, and they're still shooting like 37%, but they're shooting 48% from three-point range today. So I think he'll take that.
Bulls have had a total of 9 20-win seasons under Coach Fernandez. The question is, how many of those have been consecutive now? As looks pretty easy there from Tamara Henshaw, the junior.
Well, it's easy because they're patient. They don't throw the ball away. Most people don't pick up the dribble on their team. They keep the dribble alive, and they find the open man.
And Henshaw probably feels like the foreigner. She's the only Florida native on this roster for USF. Hard to imagine with such great recruiting grounds, but the Bulls have had so much success internationally. 6 different countries, including the United States, represented on this roster. Multiple players from Portugal, multiple players from Latvia now with the addition of Septe. They will add another Floridian next year. In fact, she's been nominated for the McDonald's All-American game. I know they look forward to that addition, but they don't lose much, so they're not going to need a big recruiting class. If that's their only signee, it's a good one for the Bulls going into next season.
Well, so far Tulane hasn't shot well, but I'm going to let everybody know that they have had effort in this game. It's not like they haven't cared. Their effort is there. It's just that they're not. There's no real flow on the team. Their rebounding's been decent. They haven't been able to keep the Bulls off the offensive glass, but they haven't shot the ball well.
they haven't gotten the kind bounces off the rim and the glass like we've seen the Bulls here at home. Gutierrez called for the turnover a moment ago. Harvey able to find Septe. Again, when Harvey touches the ball, all of a sudden everybody glued to her with the day she's had with her career high 23. Gutierrez can't drop it through, and another rebound on this double-double day for Shea Leverett.
Well, that's what I'm talking about, Gutierrez. She's a hard driving point guard, but sometimes just comes up empty. If she can finish that, that's going to be great.
Tulane has more players from Florida than the Bulls do, and has not been an issue today, though, for USF.
Well, it's Henshaw inside for a quick 2.
16-footer good straight away. Crystal Freeman with 15 points today, still the only Tulane player in double digits. No need to take shots early in the clock for the Bulls. That clock is on their side. That time denied by the base of the rim, Henshaw. Back over to Tulane. Oh, nice extra pass to Freeman. More of that from Dinah Jones, please.
It was 2 series in a row where Tulane really looked good on offense.
Jones got that penetration in the lane, and although she didn't stare down her teammate, she knew where she was.
Well, Tulane's trying to get them to pick up the pace and not be able to settle in that half-court game. And I like it because they're trapping them and getting them out of their flow. Look for USF now to slow this down a little bit.
I want to give the Bulls credit. Really no foul concerns, which obviously could be devastating to them, with only a couple players that they've been using off the bench.
Well, he doesn't like unnecessary fouls, and they're well disciplined in that facet. Their players don't do that. He expects everybody to rebound, and he said he finally got his guards to buy into it. I mean, let's talk about it. They out-rebounded Connecticut by 16. What a play right there.
Hadjic, your 5'9" target, able to haul it in and go up quickly off the glass.
Little back screen for Enna, and she just comes off it, and great pass.
Confident shot, just wouldn't go. And guess who with the rebound?
But they out-rebounded Connecticut by 16. I don't know many teams that can do that. So even though they lost the game, that's quite a margin.
And you have a feeling she's done that a few times on this court before. Louisa Septe feeling right at home here in Tampa inside the Yingling Center.
Well, even when things don't go well for her, she still keeps attacking. So you can tell she's got game.
Tulane now 4 of 20 from beyond the arc today. 0 for 5 this half.
What an impressive group of women that USF has put together. We've already talked about the various countries that are represented, but just to mold these people together, have 5 key players out, 50 points of your offense, and to have them perform like this, it's really saying something.
Well, we've talked about the maturity that comes with that. Someone able to be so far from home at what is still a relatively young age. Leverett with 13 points to go with her 12 rebounds.
Their dribble, drive, and dish is really good. I mean, these guards are dribble driving, and they're pulling the defender off and dishing to the open man. It's clinic.
Offensive rebound for Tulane, and free throws coming up.
Well, we wondered a little bit about would they have enough gas, in their tank. USF, and it hasn't been like that at all. There's not even been a question of if they would be able to withstand 40 minutes of Tulane's deep bench.
Tatiana Lofton, one of the few seniors on these two rosters out of Mississippi.
I think what turned the table early in this game is just those open three-point shots that they got. And, Harvey just hitting those threes early on.
That's a play by Madison Wells, one of the Floridians now calling New Orleans home. Wells out of Winter Haven. here in Florida, the junior. And a heads-up play there to keep the ball with Tulane. "11 players have seen time for Tulane today here on the road. Contrast that with 7 for the Bulls, which these days is standard procedure for USF. They never even got to see Sylvia Sarant, the sophomore this year. She tore her ACL with the national team with Spain. We talked about the maturity of these international players. Many of them have already seen tough international competition before they reach the college level, representing their home nations. And this one given back over to USF.
Yeah, Anderson's just maybe pressing it a little bit more. I know she's got the hustle. She's feisty as ever, and her defense is really, really strong. But you know, she's had a couple passes like that I think have been more out of frustration than anything. But it's important for Tulane to know right now that this is just one game. They're coming back to see Tulane. And, you know, it's a tough game. Everyone on their calendar is going to have a tough time here at USF. It's not going to be an easy place for anybody to play. Certainly, I think they thought they could win this one, but these guys have commanded the game the whole time. USF.
This is a Bulls team that's still determined to finish where they have the past several years, among the top 2 in the league. Now, there's another team this year from Florida that might have something to say about that. And let's see if the three-point pace picks back up. Anna Pahajic pours in another.
Well, USF won 26 games last year. Their goal was to win 27 this year. So they always want to improve from where they were. And they've had back-to-back 21 seasons deep. So, you know, that's the expectation.
Again, that's the current trivia question. How many consecutive 20-win seasons or better has USF had? And again, 9 total for the program. It's been the past 6 straight years for Jose Fernandez and company, where that is the minimum standard for them. They are halfway there with a 10-7 mark, despite a slow start here in the American. But it looks like things are starting to pick back up. And during this break, this gives us a chance to check back in with Despina courtside.
All right, guys, last poll of the night with just under 5 minutes to go. Tell us, who do you think deserves MVP honors of this game? Is it the freshman, Sydney Harvey, Shea Leverett? You tell us who on this Bulls team deserves that honor. Type on social media, send our way, and we'll consider them all. Guys?
Despina will have a chance to talk to the winning coach and one of our top performers today. Still 4:44 to go. 65-37 the edge for the Bulls.
More than 7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 22 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American, powered by determination.
Power comes in all forms.
Power is a big tackle,
A big save, a clutch hit,
or a game-winning shot.
Power is also standing up for what is right. There is power in the sportsmanship that is displayed across the American.
Power is respecting opponents,
Officials,
student athletes,
coaches, and team representatives. Power is not tolerating racial or ethnic comments,
profanities, or other improper actions while at the game.
The American.
Power for life.
The American, power for life.
The American, power for life.
Bernie scores!
3 strikeouts in a row.
Dominance for a 4th straight year.
Cueto from 30!
Unbelievable. And be able to celebrate this type of championship.
There's the record breaker. They are the champions of the American.
First half of a women's-men's doubleheader inside the Yingling Center. We've got the women's game right here with you on the American Digital Network. Bulls Well, they led by 2 after the first quarter, but started to pull away in the second frame. They have grown their lead every period since. Right now, 4:40 to go in this fourth and final frame. Lincoln Rose, Angela Beck, Despina McLaughlin with you here with our ADN crew. Again, Despina will have a chance to talk to our winning head coach. At the moment, that would appear to be Jose Fernandez, who's done his best to save his voice after battling some illness throughout the week. He has to be pleased with how things have gone. That's the 4th three-pointer now for Pahajic. A 6-0 run for the Bulls over the past minute alone. A 12-1 run now here in the fourth quarter in crunch time. And the Bulls are red hot, making 5 of their last 6 shots. And Freeman has been a bright spot for Tulane, predictably. 17 points, but not enough help from her teammates.
Look at the way that they swarmed in on her. There were 3 white jerseys around Freeman, which caused that turnover. 18 turnovers for the game right now for Tulane versus 9 single-digit turnovers for USF. Big difference in the game.
Tulane has missed their last 5 shots, never got a shot off on that trip down. Again, Keitha Adams is Shockers next up for Tulane. Back home in New Orleans. More of the same from Anna Pahajic. That's 3 triples here in the fourth quarter. 5 on the ball game, pardon me, for the Denmark native.
Well, she's feeling it now. She's outshot Harvey from 3 by 1, so those two, they said they were going to carry the shoulder the burden of the scoring, and they have. Them with Leverett on the inside, that's quite a little triple combination.
Her career high was 20 against Creighton back in December. She has surpassed that today with 21 points at the moment. So a couple of career highs have gone down, Harvey and Pahajic. And then, of course, you have the double-double from Leverett today.
She had an ACL tear and kind of was thrown into the fray this past year, and they're like, you know, they weren't quite ready to throw her in there, but looks like she's ready to go.
Again, both teams today wearing the We Back Pat t-shirts. The entire crowd, again, getting behind Leverett in the day she has had. She helped get them their advantage early in this ball game. Again, more on We Back Pat. Obviously, we lost Pat Summit a couple years back. Had to retire prematurely due to Alzheimer's from Tennessee. But has certainly left a legacy, and everybody around the country trying to continue to grow that legacy in her absence with the battle against Alzheimer's. It's, again, you see these teams going up against each other, but always appreciate the causes that unite them as well. And today the Bulls, well, you would have understood if they had started off 1-3 because Tulane has had such a great start in conference, but the Bulls, after a slow start in the first quarter, have defended their home court well. Harvey continues to add to her career high, now 24 points.
So that puts UCF and Connecticut in command right now of the conference undefeated, and then slides USF right where they're used to being, right below that. But they've got to meet UCF again, so you never know. I'm very impressed with Jose Fernandez and what they've done with their program, what his staff has done, and just the kind of talent that they bring in.
Bulls with 9 3-pointers today. And now the Green Wave able to chime in with a triple as Cheatham able to connect. Cheatham's one of those players who's going to get a green light from Stockton. I'm sure they wish they could have seen more of that earlier in the ball game.
Yeah, she just didn't seem to get open enough. They definitely need her 3. Looks like they may be throwing in the towel here, going into a zone.
Well, dribble off the shoe. Otherwise, they would have been happy to take more time off the clock. Gutierrez will head to the free throw line. Well, the 3-ball has been flying here in Tampa. Harvey 4 of 6 from beyond the arc. And of course, we saw Pahajic hit 3 here in the fourth quarter alone. She connected on 5 for the ball game.
She's like, sorry. Sorry, I'll give it to you next time.
No need to apologize. Not sure how you say sorry in the native tongue.
Well, she was saying it to her teammate because they had a wide open player, but she felt it.
Final minute and a half here in Tampa. Again, that clock is on the side of the Bulls. They will improve to 11-7 on the season, handing Tulane just their 5th loss overall this year. Tulane will be 3-2 going into next weekend's game, as the Bulls will improve now to 2-2 with wins over Temple and now Tulane.
Well, it was an impressive win. This was a high-level game, a highly fought game. Great first quarter. I think it was the second quarter that USF just slowly just dissected these guys and pretty much put it, not out of reach, but took command.
The Bulls' only losses so far in conference are to the top 2 teams, the only unbeaten teams left in this league, UConn and UCF. Could the Bulls very well continue to climb right back to where we've expected to see them year in, year out, despite all the adversity that they've been dealt with this season?
Well, I think they not only can, but they are. They're proving it tonight. This is a very good Tulane team. It's a very well-coached team. It's a hard-nosed team. And, they just ran the show. So, yes, I have to say they have and they will.
Arlen Wyatt able to add a pair. So the day for Pahajic is over. She has her 21 points. Harvey with a career-high 25. Lisa Stockton over 500 wins in her time at Tulane alone. Picked up her 500th career win a few years ago. And everybody's still fighting for the basketball here in the closing seconds.
Well, Lisa Stockton's not going to let her team quit. She's going to make them keep fighting, and that's the kind of nature that they have there at Tulane, and this is the expectation.
In their next game, they'll go back to Fogelman Arena in Devlin Fieldhouse. Green Wave's been able to put together a little 7-0 run here over the last minute and a half. Again, they continue to fight. Now, they've held the Bulls scoreless for the past 3.5 minutes. So some positives to build on. That shot off the mark from Michaela Kessner, the freshman from Virginia.
Pretty much coming off the bench and rocking and firing.
Crowd on their feet. Both the women and men have home games today in Tampa. First half of the doubleheader, a success as the Bulls prevail 73-46 over Tulane. Career highs from Harvey and Pahajic today. 25 for Harvey, 21 for Enna. The double-double, 13 and 12 for Leverett Henshaw, the 4th Bull with double-digit scoring. Again, only 7 goals today for the most part. And as for Tulane, Crystal Freeman, 17 points, 8 apiece from Anderson and Cheatham in this contest. But after a slow start for the Bulls when they trailed 8-2, they started finding success outside and then later on inside.
Well, if you listen to Coach Jose Fernandez at halftime, he said if we continue to play good defense and rebound, our offense will take care of itself. That's their philosophy, and that's what happened. Their defense was phenomenal, holding Tulane under 50 points and getting their average.
Jose Fernandez now with Despina.
All right, Coach, we got your second win in the American Conference, and you told me early on that you were concerned of how this young group would close out games. What did you take away from this one?
Yeah, you know what? you look at this group, we're dressing 8 guys, 5 of them are freshmen, and I couldn't be happier with, their defensive effort today. Like I said, you only got one kid on the floor that started our first game of the year. You look at the amount of points we got out of our lineup. But that's just a commitment to our young guys and us getting better. Preparation. Tulane's a very good basketball team, and I thought we did some very good things today. I'm proud of our group.
Can you talk about that freshman Sydney Harvey and what she did for this program and what kind of statement she made today for you?
Well, she's been great all year. December she got a little bit tired. After Christmas break, she got back, refocused, and she's a pleasure to coach, and she's got an incredibly bright future.
From a coach perspective, what do you take away from this one, moving on into the rest of your conference play?
We got to get ready for Memphis. We got to forget about this one and on to the next one.
All right, Coach, good luck to you the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Tip-off for that game is scheduled for...
All right, guys, I have Sydney Harvey now. Sydney played with 8 here on the floor today. Tell me from your player's perspective, what was your mentality and this group's mentality tonight?
Just like a next man's up mentality. We just have to be ready to play, and we just got to play with what we got. So that's what we did. We battled.
You look so calm out there. How do you navigate mentally through the game?
Just practice. So when we were practicing, they were just practicing like exactly what they were doing. So I was just ready to play.
Did you know you had a career night tonight?
I did not know I had a career night.
You scored a career high. I mean, what did it feel when you're hitting those shots outside? What does that feel like inside?
It feels great. It gives me confidence. So then everybody gets confidence, and then everybody starts hitting shots. So
you get your second conference win here with this group of ladies. What kind of confidence does this give you moving forward in the schedule?
It definitely gives a lot of confidence rolling forward. We know we can win with 8 people, so we're just going to keep on doing that.
All right. Thank you so much, and go enjoy this one, all right?
Thank you.
All right. Guys.
Sydney Harvey, just a freshman, but one of the many bright spots for the Bulls today.
Oh, absolutely. She was rocking and rolling on all cylinders from the start, and had a couple moves that really showcased it. She has a high arcing shot. She has the floater that just kind of banks in, and she makes it all happen.
For Despina and Angela, I'm Lincoln. Hope you had a great time with us today. A convincing victory for the Bulls. Looking to build momentum moving forward. Big thanks to our entire American Digital Network crew today. Look forward to our next matchup coming up on Wednesday. Final score again. The Bulls improved to now 2-2 with the victory over the Green Wave today in Tampa, 73-46 from the Yuengling Center.